Okay, I'd like to call this hearing to order. The reason for having this hearing is we were contacted by a representative of DPL Energy, Ms. Sharon Schroeder, and she has made a proposal to the village concerning our street lights and our electric aggregate, correct? And at this time I will turn this over to Sharon and she can explain the proposal to everyone here.
Okay. I'm going to stand here for now and you guys let me know if you can hear me okay. And that way if anyone has questions you can approach the microphone and that way I won't have my back to anybody. So if I'm in an awkward position or if you can't hear me, let me know. My name's Sharon Schroeder and I'm with DPL Energy. We provide, part of our company right now provides the street lighting to the village. And we have an existing contract for street lighting that actually expires at the end of this year. And we were contacted with regards to trying to extend that contract or renegotiate the contract, what options that we might have. Because as I understand it, the village has concerns about funding for that street light contract. So what we were trying to do is to see if we could come up with an opportunity to partner with you to see if we could come up with an idea that would help fund street lighting and extend that contract so we didn't have to go dark or come out and take out fixtures and those types of things. But in conjunction with that, what we've also seen is that recently in one of your recent elections in November, you passed an ordinance that allows for electric aggregation. So it aggregates the community, all the residences, and all the small commercial customers to get electric service from an alternate provider. And that will be chosen by your council members. And so that election basically turned that over to them to do that on your behalf. And so what they've done is what we've tried to negotiate is a proposal that would bundle those together. So it would be a savings on your electric bill for electricity. So you would get a savings compared to what you're paying today from DPL. But at the same time, it would bundle in there the cost for the street lighting so that it would continue the contract and continue the street lights for the village. So at a very high level, that's kind of what the proposal is. It's a discounted rate, but it's bundled with the two services through DPL Energy. If the contract is signed, our proposal would be that we would sign it next week after the second public meeting that we have scheduled, I believe next week, Wednesday evening. And after that, if we do sign the contract, then there'll be a handful of different timelines, but basically what would happen is there'd be a timeline where we would send out mailers to everyone in the community who's eligible, which would be all the residential customers, all the small commercial customers. Anyone who has said that they don't want to be on the list would automatically be off. Anyone who already gets their electric supply from a different supplier would not be on that list. And then you would have a right, I think it gives you 21 days, you have a right to opt out and say, no thanks, I'm not interested in this. Recognizing this was done on your behalf for the community and for the benefit of the community, you still have the option on your own to say that's not what I'm interested in, I can opt out. And then every quarter, DPL Energy would go back and reissue an option for folks to come in. So folks that opted out the first time, or maybe someone new to the community who moved in, or a new business or a new residential customer, it would give them the option to get in. If you move out, then you would just remove yourself from the program. There's no fee for getting in or getting out during this opt-in time, and so it's really a choice that's up to you. And that's really the high level. The savings, depending on your usage, the savings will be anywhere between 20 and 30% per customer. So it's pretty significant savings. And that's based on the fact that we can purchase our energy at the wholesale market and then provide you with a lower cost than what DPL with the regulated utility is able to provide today. So if you use more and more energy, your savings would probably be in the range of about 20%. If you use a little bit less and you're a small household, your savings would probably be upwards of about 30%. So I'm available to answer questions, or if there's anything that maybe I didn't touch on to make sure that we capture each of them.
I will ask that if anybody that has questions, please come to the podium and state your name and address so that we'll have a record of this, not only for us, but for DPL Energy.
I've also got a handout here up front that you can take with you. It's kind of a question and answer type thing, things that we were trying to guess maybe you might have questions about. And that's something you can take with you. And certainly if If it's all brand new and you want to take a look at that and let it sink in and talk to other folks, I'll be here again next week on Wednesday night, willing to answer any questions between now and then, and also on Wednesday night when I'll be here again.
I've got a question for you. How does this aggregate affect anybody that's on level billing now?
Okay, to clarify about level billing, the current structure for anyone who selects an alternate provider other than DPNL, which would be what most folks are already on, DPNL does the billing no matter who you choose for your provider. So if you have a different provider today, DPNL would provide the billing. If you decide to stay in and not opt out of this program, DPNL would be providing you still one bill. Now, unfortunately, DPNL doesn't have the capability today to offer level billing or the budget billing. They actually have recently signed an agreement, and the PUCO, the commission in Ohio, has ordered that they have to provide that ability. They've given them 6 months from the time of the agreement to provide that, and I believe that gives them a deadline of around May or June that they have to provide it. Otherwise, there's pretty substantial penalties if they don't have that in place. So they will have that in place by the summer. So the good news is that around that time of year is probably when the usage is pretty low, because what we would propose is that the street lighting service would begin right away, because we don't want to have any lapse in the agreement that expires today at the end of the month. So we don't want to have a lapse in that. So that would begin right away. But just because of the process it takes for us to file everything with the commission, get our agreement signed, have a number of other public meetings for you to come and ask questions, that process takes a little bit longer. So actually the electric supply portion of our agreement would not start until March. So if you think about the fact that your meter reading bill, your meter reading schedule in March, then you would get a bill in April, you would have a bill, let's say in April, May, June, that would no longer have your budget bill on it if you did not opt out. Then thereafter, as soon as DPNL is able to provide that bill that includes a budget bill, then we would let you know, and then that could be reinstated. If you have serious concerns about the budget bill, then it's certainly your option that you can opt out so that you don't lose your budget bill option. And then we would be coming back and providing opt-in notices every quarter. So if that's the main concern, you could actually opt out initially, keep your budget bill intact, and then as we send out notices every quarter to say, hey, you want in, we would be able to let you know if at that time DPNL can offer budget billing, and then it would be your choice then to stay in the program. And just be aware that that's the case actually from the DPNL side. So regardless of who your supplier is, you've probably seen things in the mail or heard other folks talk about it either at your business or at home. There are lots of suppliers now that are interested in providing electric supply. And so if any of those were ones that you chose, it would be the same concern about the budget bill. But it is certainly your option to opt out and wait for that, because DPNL does have a commitment to provide that by summer.
And as I understand this, then the citizens of our little village here will get lower electric rates, right?
Right.
And we also get to keep our street lights.
Correct.
This is a very good rate and a very good offer from DPL Energy. Very, very appreciative of the fact that they're working with us on this. It's a 0.065 rate for 3 years. That's a very good rate. Small commercial up to 700,000 kilowatts per year qualifies for this also, which will cover most of the small businesses in town. That's quite a bit of electric, so that would be a good rate for them. It's going to be a significant savings. I think the projected savings for the village over a 3-year period was
$365,000
total savings to everyone in the village over a 3-year period at this rate compared to what you're paying now. So it's a very attractive offer from DPL Energy, and we want to thank them very much for working with the village on that. It's really, no one has to join it. They're willing to take the risk, whether you opt in or opt out. It's up to you folks. Everyone in the community is up to them. But from a standpoint of a business, I don't know why anybody would not want to join it. It's going to be a savings to you people, but DPL is willing to take the risk on participation from the village. Hopefully everybody will see to participate. That's up to individuals to make that decision. There's nothing being forced on anybody here. It's just strictly optional.
To clarify a couple things about the rate, The price, if you receive your service today from DPL still, the price that you're paying that you would want to be comparing is in the handout that I've had here that you can take with you. But that price would be $9,752, so 9.7 cents per kilowatt hour. So that's the price that you are paying today if you are served by DPL. So 9,752, and then what we're offering is a discount of 656. So that's where we've estimated the savings. We've taken the difference between those two prices, the 9,752 and the 656, taken that difference, thank you, and multiplied it times what we expect to be the usage across the entire village, and that's where we've come up with the savings, plus the approximately $17,000 annually for the street lighting value, and that's where we've come up with the 365 estimated value savings for the entire village. And to also clarify about if there are any customers that are larger than the 700,000 kWh a year cutoff, if there are some businesses that are very large, DPL Energy also serves commercial and industrial customers today. And if we haven't already approached you about that, we're certainly interested in your business. And so we would definitely want to be have an opportunity to provide you an offer for that. But that would be a separate contract than this program. But certainly we'd be interested in talking with you about negotiating something for your business.
Is there any questions for Mrs. Schroeder?
No, that handout's kind of getting passed around now, so if that prompts any other questions, feel free to.
This offer's all transpired since Monday the 19th. That we knew, I think we got together this Monday, we've had a couple meetings, and this all transpired this week. So the reason we had to have a meeting today is because they would like to have a contract with the village by the 1st. In order to do that, we had to hold a couple of emergency meetings to the public for public meeting, which is a requirement of PUCO. That's the reason we're here this morning on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, so
We
thank you for coming on the holiday.
didn't have a choice here, folks. This wasn't planned. This is just what we have to do to make this thing work. So we appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, the timing gets kind of tight, really only because of the date of the streetlight agreement ending at the end of the year is what we're trying to avoid having any lapse in that, or having to try to get attorneys involved to see if we can't do something that kind of extends it or buys us a little time while we work something out. So we were trying to get something in place by the end of the year, and so we do appreciate you coming out on the holiday. We do have a couple other open meetings that'll be, if we do sign the contract, the commission requires 2 additional public meetings to be held. So next week on Wednesday night, we'll have another public meeting, and that would facilitate signing the agreements. And then if we do sign the agreements, then there'll be 2 other public meetings that'll be held sometime probably in January. Those are per the requirements of the state commission that will require a couple more open meetings just to facilitate education and question and answer time.
Does anybody have any questions for Schroeder?
I'm Ted Melody, 302 South Washington Street. My question is, the rate for the street lights, is it going to remain the same as it is now?
Actually, the way that we've designed this, we bundled the cost, the approximately $17,000 cost to the village for street lighting a year. That has been bundled into what our costs are that we expect and we forecast to serve the community for electric. And so we bundled that together so that this discounted price of the 656 actually includes any costs that we're trying to recover for street lighting. And so we're kind of in a unique situation where DPL Energy does provide the street lighting and can offer the aggregation service for electric. So since we're in that position, we can actually bundle them together. So from a legal perspective, we're going to have an agreement for street lighting with the village that'll have prices outlined in an attachment, but they'll be waived as long as there's an agreement in place for aggregation. So in effect, the street lighting contract will have prices that'll just be waived. So there'll be the existing prices, but they'll be waived, so there'll be no payment for street lighting.
Okay, I guess that answered my question.
Okay?
Thanks, Dan.
Anybody else? Thank you very much.
Thank you all. I appreciate you coming out on the holiday, and thanks for giving us a chance to share with you our proposal. And I'll be here again next week, Wednesday night, and we'll leave these Q&As out here for you. I've also have my business card kind of scattered about up here, so certainly available between now and next week if anyone has questions that you'd like to discuss. Thank you.
Again, we'd like to thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everything that you're doing for our village. This concludes our meeting, if there's no other questions.
I have a question.
Come to the podium, please. State your name.
My name is Philip Carlotti, 124 West Main Street. Now, am I hearing this right? We're getting a break on the streetlights for how long?
3 years.
3 years. In other words, we're having free service or not?
They're being bundled in on the aggregate program and being waived for 3 years in the bundle.
Okay, I understand that. Now, my next question is actually addressed to the village council. I am wondering why we had to reach such an impasse to even get a deal like this with DPL. I fail to understand it. It's made us the laughing stock of the county. I would like
Well, the
somebody...
simple facts are, it's because of insufficient funds to pay for it.
We didn't know.
We lost our local government funding. In order to do that, we have to make cuts. This was one of the cuts that we were going to make. And more to come. DPL graciously came to us Monday and made a proposal to us and to the village.
Well, I understand that, but why did it have to come to such an impasse? I mean, you didn't have money, but yet you took some out of the general fund to carry the police department over, the luxury police, and yet you was going to turn our lights off. I still don't understand it. I understand what you're saying about not having the money, but why did we have, we got a good deal right now, why did we have to wait so late to even get moving on this deal? That's all I've got to say. Thank you very much.
Now, are you going to put this in the papers? I see we have a newsman here. There is so much gossip, which is part of the poison of small town. But I heard you found some extra money that DPL was overcharging us. True, false, or what? Well, then those rumors should be addressed.
Yeah, we're glad to put something public if you guys would like. I mean, we have this Q&As that we can put in. Everything that we have here with the agreements, we're fine with all of those. You know, to the extent that you guys are comfortable, once those are signed, all of that can be made public. The majority of this actually has to be filed with the Ohio Commission, so the majority of that will be public information, and we're glad to share it with the press, with the news, whatever you guys think might be appropriate to alleviate any kind of concerns. But to be clear that DPL Energy is an affiliate of DPL, but DPL, who probably serves the majority of you today, unless you've switched suppliers, is regulated by the Ohio Commission. So they're charging prices that are regulated and approved by the Commission. DPL Energy is actually a competitive supplier, and so what we can do, since we're not regulated by the Commission, we actually can offer competitive prices. We can bundle services together that are competitive like we proposed today. It gives us a little bit more flexibility of what we can offer, and we don't have as many regulations that we have to follow and therefore pass through those costs. So today it's actually offering us a benefit that we can provide. For years, the market actually has been deregulated, but most of you probably haven't heard much about it until recently, and that's mainly just been because a handful of things. One is just really the wholesale market has kind of gone really, really cheap, and so it's gotten to a place where you've got regulated rates approved by the Commission that are a certain level, that have been there for quite a while and approved by the Commission. Then you have suppliers that can actually buy and sell at the wholesale market, and now there's a little bit of a room there for folks to come in and try to offer discounts. So that's more of a recent phenomenon, and on top of that, we just now have some communities that have actually passed this so that they can actually act on behalf of the entire community. Yours, as an example, was just passed in November. So this would be something that we couldn't have actually offered prior to the passing of that.
Then it will be put in the newspaper so that people can understand it, right? What we're doing today.
It's public knowledge what we're doing today.
I mean, it's public knowledge, but if you don't get it out there in the paper, it's not public knowledge.
Yeah, I know there's a requirement.
And like I say, I hear the rumors and I'll say, I don't know nothing about it, which I don't. And
I'm sure there will be an article. I mean, they've been following.
Yeah, we're happy
they've
to
been
work
following
with
us
you.
all along.
I mean,
I'm
we
sure
need to
there'll be
put the
an article.
rumors to rest because a lot of people,
That'll never happen.
no, that'll never happen, but at least we can try.
Sure, and we're happy to try to draft something, with you so that we make sure we clarify the things that you think that are out there being said. So we can draft something up and make sure that we work with you so that it's clear.
Well, it's pretty clear to me, and I don't usually understand money, because I don't even mess with my money, let alone anybody else's. As long as my credit card doesn't bounce, I'm okay. That's the bank's
Especially this time
fault.
of year.
That's a bank's fault if it bounces.
Is there any other questions? Frank?
Frank Serafini, Clean and Peel, 69 Virginia Drive. Now, if something happens, you're going to be replacing the street lights when they go out, and you're going to be replacing them with the more efficient bulbs and everything, correct?
That's right. As I understand it, I think there are about 106 lights, and all but about 12 are of a nature that can be upgraded. So what we've been doing, our practice has just been, as they fail, or as we're aware that they're failing, we'll go replace them with the higher quality, the newer, more energy efficient type of a bulb. And so that's kind of happening over time. There's actually a requirement that that's done, I believe, by 2015. So no later than by that date, they'll all have been upgraded. But as ones fail, we're upgrading those, and that's all included in this.
That's all included, this is all absorbed by DPNL, correct?
That's right. That's right.
And Frank, that's been going on for quite a while already. That's been going on for a couple of years as far as I
Right.
know, if I remember right.
That's
We've been
right.
doing that, so it's already been happening all along.
Right, and it's our intention to continue that and to make sure that those are done by the end of the deadline. It's probably likely that they'll be done before the end of this initial period of the 3-year contract.
Okay, and my second question, and I want this stressed very well, you didn't really have the option to present a proposal like this until the middle of November, is that correct?
That's correct. We weren't able to provide any kind of option for aggregated services until that was passed on the ballot. That's something that each community actually has to vote on and pass before we can do that, before the folks here can actually do that on your behalf. That has to be something the voters say, yes, we want you to act on our behalf, and say, look, let's look out for the best interest of the entire village and see what we can do as a buying group, as a larger group. Everyone still has the opportunity to switch providers individually. You can do that today. But we actually could not do this as an aggregated group, which can usually provide better opportunities, especially with regards to being creative about street lighting. But that could only have happened after the election, that's right.
Okay, and DPNL will be issuing the literature, whatever you want to call it, saying, yes, you do have the option to go with First Energy or Glacier or light with candles and burn buffalo chips, whatever.
That's right. What we'll do is, once this is signed, DPL Energy will facilitate the process. Will basically be some things that come out into the mail to you, which will say, you're automatically going to be enrolled unless you tell us you don't want to be. And if you say, hey, I want out, and it can be for any reason, either because you have a concern about your budget bill for those few months, it could be because you've heard about another offer from some other supplier, Glacial Energy, or some other supplier, and you'd rather choose them. Maybe you're comfortable with DPNL's tariff prices that are regulated by the commission and you want to keep that intact, then you can opt out. If you already have a contract with an alternate supplier, and maybe it's DPL Energy, but it could be First Energy Solutions or Glacial or some other. If you already have that, you will not be on the list in the first place, because we can tell that you've already switched. So the list that we get, you won't even be on there. However, if you're on that list of someone else and you want in, then we're certainly willing to serve you when we'd like to have you join the program.
How would you, do we need to actively get in contact with DPNL if we are on another list?
If you are on another list, I'm not sure if that number is on here or not, but we've got an 800 number for DPL Energy. I'll make sure I bring that on Wednesday because it's an 800 number for DPL Energy. I think we've got it in these contracts. And that would be a number that you could call and say, hey, I think I'm being served by another supplier, or I know I am, and I'm actually interested in being on this program. I'd like to make sure I'm in. Because the list we get will actually exclude anyone who's already being served by someone else. So we'll provide you with an 800 number where you can call. And that would be the same number if you have questions or concerns going forward. It'd be the same number, but I can provide you with that number.
Thank you very much.
That's right.
Is there anybody else? Do you have anything else that you'd like to say?
No, I think that's it. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. DPL Energy is very excited and interested in serving your community, and the fact that we can partner together for a creative and unique solution. We're very pleased to do that, and so I'll be here again next week, and hopefully at that time we'll have resolved all the questions. We can come up with a proposal for something to put in the press so that everyone feels like they're getting the word out that's correct. And hopefully we'll be able to sign the agreement, provide savings to you beginning in March, and street lighting that will continue uninterrupted going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for attending.